And we're back with more politics tonight. Republicans on Capitol Hill, they're not as thrilled for tonight's State of the Union address, perhaps, as the Democrats. They're looking for a stronger tone on foreign policy.
There is one thing that we hope to hear from the president, and that is a comprehensive plan to defeat ISIS. We've passed a law requiring the president to put forward a plan to defeat this threat, and I hope that he will deliver.
Well, this is going to be Paul Ryan's first time sitting behind the president since taking over the speaker's role. We also checked in with Republican Congressman Peter Roskam a little earlier today on his hopes for tonight's address. Joining me now, Illinois Congressman Peter Roskam, Republican from the 6th District in Illinois. And Congressman, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much.
So tonight, expectations, the president's going to review his record. It is his final State of the Union. Do we expect the same sort of partisan Democrat-Republican stand for their issues? Do we get maybe a little unity as this president begins to leave office?
I think to start out where there may be some unity is if the president is talking about some criminal justice reform issues. I think that there's a lot of folks on both sides of the aisle that are realizing that our prisons are swollen with people and that there may be some opportunities to work together to make some changes there. You'll probably see some very, very significant divisions, particularly on foreign policy, and some deep divisions as it relates to the president's legacy of the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare. So it'll be a mixed bag, I think.
On that issue, of course, as you know, he may or may not mention that he, for the first time, got that repeal bill on his desk, which, of course, gets the presidential veto. But even Speaker Paul Ryan said recently, yeah, we really need to have something to replace it. So do we expect anything from Republicans in response tonight that might address the president's comments about health care in terms of replacing it?
Yeah, it's a fair criticism, and I think that there's two things that are going on. Number one, the fact that this repeal bill got on the president's desk tells the American public that there's only one office between them and the repeal of Obamacare, which sets up the discussion for 2016 and the presidential campaign to be more and more important than ever if you want to see the country go a different direction on health care. That said, it's a valid criticism to say, look, you've made it clear that you're opposed to Obamacare, but where's your alternative? And I think what Paul Ryan, as the new speaker, is proposing is to have that out there this year, where you will see a robust debate in the House and hopefully a robust debate in the Senate to come up with the replacement bill.
The president not expected to suggest a lot of legislation. He may present some things perhaps in the gun control issue, but I'm guessing this president is going to be more sort of grandiose in his comments about the future of America. I'm guessing we might see applause there, right? If he, even though he's a Democrat, if he speaks to the power of America in the future, its ability to wipe out ISIS within time, you'd applaud him on that.
Look, I think that Americans are yearning for a strong America. The world is yearning for a strong America. And the disconnect is not so much the president's rhetoric, but a number of his policies that seem to move us in the different direction. There's no question Barack Obama is a skilled speech deliverer, and many people have no quarrel with his rhetoric. But the nature of the policies, the deal that he put together with the Iranians, which has gone from bad now to foolish based on how the Iranians have moved forward. His characterization of ISIS previously as the junior varsity and that they were contained on the day of the Paris attacks. His treatment of Prime Minister Netanyahu, our closest ally in the Middle East. All these suggest a different thing that is in conflict and in contrast to his real rhetorical gift that delivered the ability to do nice things.
Congressman, I'm just curious, as you look back on the president, this may be a tough question for you, but if you had to point to something that you'd say, you know what, he did a good job on this, I'm happy about that, what has it been as you look back on his 7 years?
You know, I think he did a good job on promoting trade opportunities for the United States. His party was in stark contrast with him, and he did it notwithstanding the criticism of Hillary Clinton and a majority of Democrats in Congress. He worked with Republicans, and he said, look, we've got to lower barriers for trade, and he did it, and I think he's poised to do a good job. So I think that he did that in the wake of a difficult situation, and I commend him for it.
As no question after tonight, we're already in the heat of the presidential election 2016. Are you pleased with the tone that's getting created among the candidates on the Republican side?
Look, it's a very competitive thing, and I think that what's interesting, you know, is the level of frustration that people feel, that Republicans feel, is really, really significant. So the irony, I would say, is that some of the tone is, I think, a reflection of the legacy of President Obama. This notion of, and I'm not saying that he's responsible for what people are saying, but what I am saying is that there's a disposition, an impunity with which the White House has been acting to bypass Congress, to run counter to his constitutional limitations, that now has people very, very exercised, and that's manifesting itself in the presidential space.
And that's the stuff that these political battles are based on. Congressman, I know your wife will be your guest tonight in the gallery watching things, so I'm sure she will enjoy that. And I appreciate your time here, Congressman Peter Roskam from Illinois' 6th District. Thank you, sir. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Paul.